20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Jules Verne's classic 19th century novel introduced thousands and thousands, if not millions of people to the wonderful world underwater. Giant squid, huge sharks, fantastic underwater forests, and many other adventures. Now, I've never been 20,000 leagues under the sea, and I've never seen a giant squid. I want to share with you tonight some of the experiences I've had this year as I've taken up the wonderful sport of scuba and spent much of my time over the past few months 20,000 millimeters under the sea, or 20 meters if you want to translate it into normal speed. Our story, strangely enough, starts not underwater, but on top of it. On a trip I made with some friends to Palau, this is Bolio in Chinese, in April this year. A number of my friends were scuba divers and decided to take a trip. And they were asking, hey, Eric, you want to go to Palau? I'm like, that sounds cool. Let's go. Except I wasn't a scuba diver. So I thought, okay, no problem. I'll take a scuba lesson. It'll be great. Friends will go scuba diving and I'll take a lesson. So got there to the shop. Let's see if we can... sorry, there's no instructor. No instructor. That's going to make it kind of hard to have a class. No? What to do? Well, I thought, no problem. Don't go scuba? Let's go snorkeling. This is where you use the little tube, you get the mask, and you float on top of the water. That was interesting, but I made 3 big discoveries. First of all, there's a lot of cool stuff underwater. Even snorkeling, you can see fabulous coral, schools of tuna, and many, many wonderful sights. Second thing is, I discovered this strange disease, Scubacum envium, also known as scuba envy. Because every time I would see something cool, my friends who were scuba diving, they would see something that much cooler. And they would come up from their trip, and we'd sit on the boat, and they'd be telling me all the wonderful things, the sharks, the manta rays, all these fantastic things. And oh, well, you know, I saw a couple fish. It was pretty cool. The other thing I discovered was the sun's really strong on the top of the water. So I had the worst sunburn of my life. Spent 2 days in my hotel room getting better while my friends were scuba diving. So, needless to say, when I got back to Taiwan, it was time to take up a scuba course. So taking up a scuba course sounds like a lot of fun, but it starts out as a real drag. You have to read hours and hours of book of everything you could possibly know about scuba, or at least everything you need to know not to be a complete disaster on your first dive. You have to watch hours and hours of video, learning all the stuff you have to do. You learn about strange gear, BCD, regulator, octopus, how to use all these stuff. You don these bizarre wetsuits that make you look like a complete freak, almost like you're a frog on land. But then, you drive underwater and take that first breath. And let me tell you, it is an amazing feeling. Huh? No water. And an incredible experience as you first feel life underwater. Now, it's not all fun and games. On my second dive, got underwater, felt like I was breathing through a straw. Couldn't get enough air and had to surface. All out of panic. What's going on? What's going on? And my instructor calmly surfaces next to me. Hey, is everything all right? Does it look like everything's all right? I can't breathe. It's okay. Everybody goes through that. It's a normal part of the whole scuba experience. No problem. Calm me down. Went underwater. And things went great from there. So by the end of the course, I passed all the tests, and my last dive got to experience what scuba was truly like. This is just exploring the underwater world, becoming one with the fishes, swimming smoothly underwater, touching the corals, seeing everything under there, finding out not only are these big, huge, giant fish, but these tiny little, amazing little things that are colorful and exciting all over this water, just as close as Long Dong Bay. You don't even have to go as far as Bolio. So I've spent much of my time since then, as I can, going scuba. Experienced some wonderful things. A few disasters, like the last time I went to Long Dong Bay. And unfortunately, the place was packed. There were tons and tons of people, which meant there weren't that many weights. I thought, okay, I'd used 8 kilos on my last trip. I'll try to use 8 kilos this time. Unfortunately, I had a bigger wetsuit. So I blew out all my air, went down to sink. What's going on here? Should I sink? What's going on? I couldn't sink. I didn't have enough weight. And with all the big wetsuit and all the big gear, I found out what it was like to snorkel with a 20-kilo tank with a BCD, with a wetsuit, with the fins and all the gear that you normally have to go scuba diving, and it's not a lot of fun. However, the rest of it's been worth it. When you first experience touching an undersea tortoise and finding out they really like to have their shell scratched because it gets all the algae off. When you first go diving at night and see all the fish going into their caves and see all the crabs coming out. And when you first experience a nudibranch. Now what's a nudibranch? Nudibranch is a tiny little creature that has these fan-shaped gills that come out. Colorful and amazing sights. Dodging the poisonous spinefish, trying to avoid the stingrays, seeing the wonderful colorful mantafish, the amazing corals, and all the other fantastic sights. You'll soon find out why there truly is an entire separate world underwater, and I hope you can experience it soon. Thanks, Toastmaster Deegan.